Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time doing another film review, and this one is on Cats Don't Dance. Now, as you know, Cats Don't Dance is a 1997 animated musical comedy film that was directed by Mark Daniel, as well as becoming a giant cult following. So, I had this on my USB stick for quite some time, and reason why, it's basically out of print in the UK. You can only get it in VHS in charity shops. And since I got my kind of media stuff on my PS4, decided to sit down and watch it. So, the premise of the film is meant to take place in 1939, where you mainly have Danny, who is this young, optimistic, and kind of determined cat, who is determined to make his big break in Hollywood. And when he travels from Kokomo, India, to basically Hollywood, we see the credits of different actors and different animators and everything else. And at the same time, meets his future friend, who is Pudge, who is kind of this young, inspiring penguin. You've also got Sawyer, who's basically the counterpart to Danny, and at the same time does get screwed over in some ways. And some of the other friends that you do have of Danny's, who is Tilly, who is a happy-go-lucky hippopotamus, Cranston, who is a kind of cranky goat. You've also got Ference, who's kind of a rude, sassy fish, voiced by Cruella de Vil, and also you've mainly got TW Turtle, who is basically a superstitious turtle and has kind of these fortune cookies, and Woolly Mammoth, who becomes a friend and mentor to Danny. So, as soon as Danny enters the world of Hollywood, he kind of starts to see how, animals are kind of getting the short end of the stick, and basically sees how animals are kind of treated like side roles. And this is kind of realistic, as the animals in the film are portrayed similar to how blacks, Asians, also Native Americans, and so many people from different backgrounds were treated back in those days. So at the same time, Danny wants to make sure animals get bigger parts, and at the same time does kind of cross paths with Darla Dimple, who is a evil, psychotic, and if not dangerous psychopath, who is determined to keep things the way they are, and is meant to be based on Shirley Temple. So I would say Darla is a dangerous force, because she has her henchman Max to kind of be the intimidating force to her basically weaker position. And I think what makes Max terrifying is that he shows up somehow and then basically leaves suddenly. He's kind of like if Batman was a 50-foot gorilla. Now, at the same time, I would say the movie does have some good song numbers. It feels interesting because when you've got Danny's big song at the start, it's like him being introduced to his new element. And when you've got basically Darla's song, it's meant to hide what Darla Dimple truly is. And at the same time, the film does have an important message about following your goals, but be careful of the downsides. And this is kind of realistic, as it's like when we have goals, but sometimes they're kind of either put aside or kind of thrown away. And at the same time, I do feel what the movie does is tell a story about a young, optimistic cat's ambitions about being a actor. And I do admit the movie does come off quick at times, and I kind of feel you could have had, Danny at the start watching a Darla Dimple film and kind of being inspired. And I kind of feel the movie does come off quick at times and does feel a bit rushed at certain points. And what's interesting is that the movie was originally going to be a Michael Jackson film, which never happened. And this was also was going to be something similar to what was going to be Space Jams. So, to me, I think Cats Don't Dance isn't too bad. It's quick, it's alright, and at the same time is an enjoyable film. So, I think it deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still enjoyable. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.